Transformers Generations Windblade. Hey everybody, it's me, Aries 0083, here with another review of Transformers Generations Windblade. Windblade is the first fan-built bot, which is, I guess, a good thing. I didn't participate in building her. Aaron Archer on a Transformers podcast said that there are some characters that they do package as in robot form as opposed to car form. But that doesn't always apply because sometimes Bumblebee's packaged as a robot. I mean, as a car or as a robot. Windblade. When given the opportunity to join the Autobot cause, Windblade jumped at the chance. The Autobots were more than happy to welcome her to their ranks. Her near telepathic link to the Titan Metroplex is a remarkable power that holds untold potential. Windblade. Windblade is also out of the thrilling 30. She's 30 out of 30. Yeah, she's very dirty. And she has a VTOL jet mode. And as you can see here, as I mentioned, the first fan built bot. She comes with a Stormfall blade. A Stormfall sword. Windblade can be found in Kmart, Toys R Us, and Target with a price range from about $18.50 to $19. That's really expensive for a deluxe toy. Hopefully, come Christmas season, we'll see a lot of sales and you'll be able to get her cheap. Windblade does come with a free comic, which is a bonus. It's a great way to get people into the IDW Transformers universe, which isn't a bad universe. So the comic has an exclusive Hasbro cover, which isn't so exclusive. I think this is one of the variants that the comic had. Well, this is one of the variants from the Windblade comic. They put the art on this comic, which is a repaint of Dark Cybertron Chapter 8, Burning Bright. The art is pretty. I don't like it. I'm sorry. The only art that's kind of cool in here is I think from an artist called Livio Ramondelli. You do get James Reyes, who does like to put bolts on his bots. His art is passable, but this artist, I don't like the way he draws the robot faces. They look too human for my taste. You know, the robots in disguise. Windblade only appears in 4 pages of dialogue in this comic, and she's referred to as she who must not be named. Uh, uh, it's never mentioned again in the Windblade miniseries, but I don't get it. All right, so for Windblade's face sculpt, she has some pretty nice paint applications. You have to be careful because there was one of the figures at the store had her nose was scoffed. It was rubbed up against the package, and below the silver is black. So you don't want to scratch her face against her collar. Also, I think she needs more paint applications. The blue and gold is pretty nice, but I think she's missing blue on the side of her face. And in the Windblade comic, she's drawn with blue eyes and pupils. So those look silver to me. They might be blue, but you could always customize the eyes if you're really good. I don't think I'll be able to though. Her fan blade, which is one of her weapons, does come off her head, but while I was trying to take it off, as you can see, I scoffed some of the paint up here in the top. So as you can see on the blade on her head, I kind of chipped off the paint while trying to take it off, and that is not cool. Here's the Stormfall blade, which comes with a, I think it's called a scabbard or a sheath. You could pull it out, and as you can see, it's white and purple. Has a translucent fan in the hilt, and it's made of hard plastic. Usually, I would expect the sword to be soft plastic, but this is hard plastic. There might be a running change because of this. All right. Because of the way she's built, Windblade can't hold what I like to call as the pose. It's kind of like a charging pose, which I like to put my fingers in because it helps me display all the points of articulation, like the waist and the legs, I mean the knees. But because of her feet can't don't move, it's a bit of plastic. She can't get in that pose. So much for that. Windblade can stand. Her wings don't make her too back heavy. So if you want to display her standing, you can. The only problem is the wings can only go up and down. They can't go out. And you might also have trouble making her stand because of the way her legs are constructed. She has this heel which likes to go in. That's not cool. On one of the heels, I think it's this one, the little heel came off, but I was able to just shove it back in and it was fixed. You can also spread the legs to help with the articulation, but it's not gonna look good. She's standing well, but her leg looks like she's part of a centaur. Articulation on Windblade is as follows. She has a neck joint. Her neck's on a swivel. And the piece that it's on can swivel up and down. That's for the transformation. Her shoulder pads can move up and down. She has a joint here, and an elbow. She also has swivel wrist. She has a waist joint. She can move at the hips, and her legs can swivel, as you can see. But because of the way her legs are built, you're going to have a hard time swiveling the legs around. The top part, as you can see, bumps into her crotch. Then you get the knees, and then just this heel joint, which is useless. One thing you may notice is that these landing gear, they're sculpted in. They're unpainted to not stand out, but there's no way of hiding them unless you clip them off with a blade or something. And I really don't think they're necessary. Windblade transform from fan built bot to VTOL jet mode. So you take her arms away from her chest. You open her chest, which is connected to her arms and her wings. You got to make sure that the fan on the head is really inside. Before you bring the nose cone down, you have to make sure that that's flush. Also, when I was transforming this girl the first time, I stressed the nose cone. I mean the front part of the jet. I stressed it a bit. If I would have stressed it some more, it could have broke. That's not good. So just bring the chest closer to the back, and there you got the first part of the jet. The legs, you have to turn around and open them. Just bring them to the front. That bring the front part of the legs forward. This part's a little tricky with the heels. You have to swivel them to the inside. And just bring up the heels Then you can connect the legs with this peg. Now, this is the part that drove me a little crazy, attaching the wings to the body. What you have to do, you see these parts here? You have to bring them all the way down. You bring Windblade's arms down, then you can peg these parts into these tabs that are on the side of the cockpit. So with the hands, you bring these parts of the wings down and just plug them in. And the coup de grace is taking these pegs and putting them into these holes. And there you have Windblade in her jet mode. She has a landing gear in her nose cone. So you just bring that out. And with the other two landing gears on her feet, on her legs, she's able to land. You can add her sword to her jet mode by plugging this into her crotch. It looks kind of weird, but at least you have all of the parts of the figure on her. As a jet, her nose cone is made out of soft plastic, which is nice. She does have these VTOL jets, vertical takeoff and landing jets, that can be moved. They're semi-translucent also. If you shine them in bright light, you'll be able to see the edges, and they spin. And the gap between her legs, some people have complained about that, but I don't see it as that much of an issue. My recommendation for this figure, everyone's been waiting for Windblade, even me. She's not expensive in the aftermarket. She's like, if you can find her for $20, she's like maybe $30 on eBay, 25. She is selling like hotcakes, so if you see her, buy her. You won't regret it. Female Transformers are kind of rare, and the last one that was really hot was Animated RC. All right, so this is me, Aries 083, saying you can find me on Facebook as John.classified.5, or you could type in John Classified into Facebook. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as Aries 0083. So that's it for this review. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Bye.